Oh, okay. Um, Hold on. Hey guys. Oh, my audio works. Okay. Um, so this is my first stream. Um, I don't know if I'll have any chatters. Okay, guys. Um, this is my first my first stream. Um, what was I what was I gonna talk about? Um, where does it show my analytics? Um, so I was gonna talk about where I'm at right now. So I wanted to work on YouTube, and I've grown my channel I think quite a bit. Um, I think we're at like 54 subscribers now. Um, so I made this channel quite a while ago. I made it in 2023. Electro Des. Yes. Hello. How are you? This is my first stream. Have you seen any of my videos? Yes. Wait, what do you think of them? Oh shit, I should. Yes. Um, so I was just gonna talk about where I'm at right now. Um, so I guess it's my shed. It's kind of a small building, but I came down here to work on my projects, right? My electrical projects. And what I was trying to do was get a job or like an internship. Um, so I taught myself radio from the ground up by myself. Um, and I guess I put my projects on YouTube, right? Um, and then yeah. Um, but right now I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. A lot of things are really uncertain. Like you know, I don't know if it's bad to say, but I think I have like some talent, you know, like, or I have some really good skills in engineering. But a lot of the job interviews I've done, I think it's kind of unfortunate. Like a lot of employers in job interviews, when they look at you, it seems like they don't really care about your skills or your hobbies. Um, and I think it's kind of bad. Like you could be very impressive and have a really broad skill set, but when you talk to them, they only look at your like the last place you worked, or they look at your your certificates. So I mean, I taught myself some really challenging concepts, right, in this shed. Um, like I've learned radio, like transmitter circuits, stuff you usually learn in like a master's, right? But when I tell the interviewers about it, um, a lot of times they don't know what I'm talking about. Um, and a lot of times when I interview with people, they're not even engineers. Um, like it seems like the only thing they know how to look at is your like what's I guess like I don't know. But anyways, that's where I'm at right now. I think there's a lot of people out there with really good skills. Um, like untraditional people. People that have a kind of, I guess you could say like a chaotic or an untraditional background. They could have like really useful skills and knowledge. Um, but if it's not associated with like, let's say a university, the employer, when they look at them, if they're using that mindset of, okay, they work for this person, they have this credential, they're gonna miss out on a lot of very capable people. Um, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Uh, I don't know. But I've been working on my YouTube channel. Um, but electro. Wait, how come you just said yes? Do you have any questions? I don't know. Um, do you have? Wait, do you have a question? Are you a student? Electro. Yes, I am. I see. Wait, Electro, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions about my videos? No, bro? Okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Uh I was trying to think of ideas for videos. The last video Or one of the last like technical or project video was on a clock I made, and I have it right here. I made like a mini clock. It's called a real time clock. Um, and that actually seemed to do well. But I don't know what other types of videos to make. I was trying to think of ideas. Um, and I want to make like valuable content, right? Like, I want to make, yeah, I want it to be valuable. Uh, so I was thinking of like giving tutorials or, um, like maybe explaining something. That's a good idea. Oh, you're still here? Yeah. Electro, do you think it's a good idea to pursue YouTube full time? If it's hard to get a job, should I just go all in on YouTube? You don't know? Wait, Electro, are you subscribed? And if you are, what made you subscribe? Wait, really? Where did you find me? Or what videos did you like? I see. I see. Wait, is it what you study or no? Electro, oh, you're a ninth grader? Oh, you're a freshman. Wait, yeah, I see. Electro, you know what a lot of people ask me? They ask me if my projects are for school, right? Um, like a lot of the projects I've done on my channel, they ask me, they're like, "Oh, what made you start streaming or start posting your like schoolwork?" And I tell a lot of them, "Oh, it's not my schoolwork. It's just my personal, just my projects." Um, but in a way, I don't know. Um, I think a lot of people have this idea that in order to start a project or like work on stuff like that, it has to be like an assignment or through their school. Um, but a lot of the best learning I've had has been by myself. Um, like I've learned a lot by myself. Um, I find sometimes the way school is, where they have the assignments very structured. Um, there's this word I like. It's called experiential, but it basically means experiential learning, and it means learning through experiments, right? Um, so I remember I took this physics class, I took this physics class at my college, right? And the first time I took it, um, all the assignments were online, and it was like drop down boxes, and you choose the right answer. In that class, I just wasn't interested in it. Um, but I took it a second time, and this time I took it with a different teacher. Um, but the way he taught the class is, if we had an idea for a project we wanted to do, he let us study that idea. Um, so me, I had an idea of a project I wanted to do for the physics class. Um, and I remember I got so into it. In that class, I did really well in. Um, in the project I did, it included skills from like chemistry, um, from like math and physics, um, and like electrical. Um, like it was a really advanced project. But I found the best learning comes through experimentation. Um, I don't know. And a lot of the best learning I've done at home here, um, it's taught me a lot more than school, than just a class. Um, but I don't know what to do. At this point, I'm looking for jobs, right? Um, and they only want to hire the people who have the good school education. Um, but if you learn about science, there's this guy called Michael Faraday, right? He's like one of the most influential scientists. Um, and he's made a lot of really big discoveries. Yeah, Michael Faraday. Um, but what's really interesting, if you read about Michael Faraday, his education, he only knew like basic math, like algebra, right? Um, and what's kind of sad is he's like one of the most influential, like in history, right? And if you open up the textbook, like the engineering textbook, you'll see Mike Faraday's law of induction. Faraday's everything's named after him. Um, but I was thinking when I entered the college, Faraday would never be able to enroll in the school. Like he wouldn't even make it past the admissions. But he's regarded as one of the greatest, like like scientists, you know. Um, so today when I'm in school, um, and it's all focused down to textbook and textbook work, I get kind of upset, because some of the greatest learning is through experiments. But I don't know. Uh, I don't, but it's really interesting reading about Faraday. Um, but do you know Maxwell? Um, Maxwell was like a mathematician, right? Um, and Maxwell wrote a lot of equations. I think for magnetism, but it's crazy because um, Maxwell wasn't the one who discovered the idea. Michael Faraday, he experimented with like wires in magnetism, and he was trying to discover how electricity worked. Like, he was trying to understand the physics behind it. Uh, so he discovered it, and he did these experiments, like, literally powering a wire and, like, seeing how it moved or reacted with the magnets. So he discovered how it worked. And then Maxwell, he's a separate person, right? But Maxwell is a mathematician. So Faraday has like the conceptual thinking. Faraday, he's able to think about the concepts. But Faraday didn't have the mathematical ability to write out the equations for what he discovered. Um, and then he talked to Maxwell. Maxwell was the person who wrote all the equations for him to describe what he discovered. Um, so I don't know, if you just look back in history, a lot of really important people, uh, they wouldn't have the types of credentials that we want to see in engineers today. Um, like a lot of them don't have a very thorough college education. Um, but I mean today that's kind of how the world works. They'll only listen to you if you come from like a big school or you have a fancy, you have a like some title. But I don't know. Electro, are you still here? Wait, when is that yes from? Wait, if you're still here, what interests you about electronics? Yeah. Um, Another thing I'll say about engineering. Oh, what interests you about electronics? Um, another thing I'll say about the engineering coursework. One of the first, one of the classes you take, integrated circuits. Um, what one of the classes you take, um, there's these two laws, right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but it's this guy named Kirchhoff. So Kirchhoff is this guy, right? Um, and he was basically the first guy to describe electricity, like how it works. So he said if you have a fixed point, it's called a node. Um, he says like the power going in has to equal the power going out, right? Like really simple equations. Um, but in engineering, they'll give you these problems, like these really big circuit problems with like maybe 5 nodes. And it's all simple algebra. But these the way of solving these problems was discovered like a long time ago, right? Um, like the math equations. And we've come a long way. Like then they only had candles, right? They had candles, paper and ink. Like they didn't really have any technology available to them or like advanced technology. But today when you take the engineering course and you learn these equations, the way they test you, they give you the circuit and they ask you to solve the circuit all by hand. And you end up doing like five, like 3 to 5 equations. Um, and one problem will fill up like 2 or maybe even 3 pages just of the equations, and it's all really simple math. But what I found taking the classes, when you do 3 pages of math problems, like we're not a computer, right? So sometimes I would make a mistake, like I'd accidentally mess up on one step, and then my final answer would be wrong. Um, but it's another thing that kind of made me think like I think today, in the engineering program, there's no reason that there's no reason for us to do all those problems by hand with the probability of error. If we have computers, like I think it's kind of outdated. Um, like you should know the equations, right? But to test us and have us do 3 problems worth of equations. Um, like I don't know if it's the best. Uh, that's what I found about integrated circuits. No electro. You know what I'm talking about? It's called nodal analysis or like mesh analysis. But when you get into engineering, you'll learn how to analyze circuits. Um, but you do a lot of equations. And it's really simple math, but sometimes a lot of kids struggle with it. In the course I took, like a lot of kids don't pass, and a lot of kids retake. But I don't know. It's kind of like an art. Um, have you ever looked at a schematic? Like, you have to solve for the voltages at certain nodes, and like, let's say you have all these branches, like here, 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 like wires. Um, you have to solve like how much current is going through this one, like how many amps, or how many amps through this one. Um, but I don't, yeah. And then the way you solve them, is you'll learn you solve them using like a matrix, right? Like you have a system of equations. Um, like let's say you have three nodes or 3 things you're solving for. You'll have 3 equations, and you'll have them in a matrix. Like, and then there's 2 ways of solving it, or there's multiple ways. You can use your calculator and put in the matrix. Or you can use your laptop and use like MATLAB. But yeah. Electro, you know what though? Um, I went to my school. I wanted to learn about radio, like radio waves. Um, like back then, radio used to be really popular. Like probably when Radio Shack used to be a thing. Um, like in the time period when Radio Shack was still a thing. Um, like a lot of hobbyists would work on radio, like radio transmitters and stuff like that. In radio, it's not digital. It's not like a computer, right? Um, so today all the circuits are binary. Um, like if you look at a signal for like a keyboard, um, it will look like this, like a square wave. Like it's either on or off, like zero. If you know binary, it's just zeros and ones, right? Um, or if you work with an Arduino, in Arduino, the pins are either high or low. That's called binary. Um, but all the technology today is binary. Um, so it's kind of interesting. In the electrical engineering program, they focus a lot on binary and like microprocessors, um, which is yeah, but they no longer they don't really teach analog as much like radio, um, and I remember like I'm a student, right? So the first thing I did is kind of go to my school and like, oh, I want to learn how to build a radio transmitter. Like, I want to make my own. You can think of it as like a walkie-talkie. Um, but every kid I spoke to, they're like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Um, but I think it's really important to learn about. Um, and they do have one class on it, but it's an elective, right? So it's not required, and you don't have to take it. But I just think it's like one of the core areas, and they should really be teaching it. Um, and I got asked during job interviews, they were like, do you know RF? And RF is a radio, right? And I'm like, no, I don't. um, so I kind of went home and I taught myself from scratch. And it took me a couple months. But now every time I go to these interviews and they're looking for someone who knows RF, um, it seems like they don't care about any of my self-taught knowledge. Um, I don't know. Like, wait, Electro, do you know what a CB radio is? Like, you know what the truckers have, right? No, not yet. Wait, Electro, do do you know what analog and digital is? Like, yes. Like, if you look at, I think I have, yeah. Wait, you know, like your Xbox, or the old you know the old connectors. What is it? It's red, white. Is it red, white, and yellow? Like the three connectors like on your TV, red, white, and yellow. That's analog. Um, or like if you ever had a TV antenna, right? Um, and you touch the antenna, and you see the TV go fuzzy or blurry. That's analog. That's an analog signal. Um, and the thing about analog is, um, you know when they try to sell you like really expensive cables? Like let's say you go to the store and you buy an HDMI cable. Um, it if it was um HDMI is binary, right? So it's digital. It's either on or it's off. Um, so there's really no point in buying a HDMI cable that's like super high quality, because the it's either on or it's off. Like Arduino, it's high or low. Like you pull the pins high or low. Um, but where the quality of the cable really matters is in analog. Um, so it's like your TV antenna. You know, if you don't have good reception, then the screen will look fuzzy. You won't get good quality. That's analog. But today they don't really like analog as much. But there's some benefits to it. Um, like all the radio. Here's the radio, right? All the signals in radio is analog. Like I don't know if Wi-Fi or like Bluetooth. I'm not sure if Bluetooth is. I don't know. Electro. What time is it where you're at? Are you finding any of what I'm saying interesting? Yeah. Um. India. I see. Here it's 3 a.m. Um. Electro. I don't know how to interview. I'm still. Do you know MIT? It's in how do I say it? Massachusetts. It's in that state. MIT. If you go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of videos called MIT Maker Portfolio. But the way MIT does admissions, like into the university, is they'll have students submit a video of them building some project. Like some people make drones. So, like there's all types of projects people make. Um, but I think that's a good way to assess students. Um, someone might have a really complicated, cool idea they want to do that will use all their skills. Um, so I think the school, they should teach differently, right? Um, And if you think about it, it makes sense. Like, if you're gonna learn about this concept in engineering, like, what's the best way to learn it? Then, like, the best way is to apply it to the real world concept. I don't know. Yeah. Wait, did you see my videos on my transmitter? I I have two videos on my channel. How FM radio works and how AM radio works. But electro, I learned all of that by myself. And I think it's really impressive. Like, that's hard to learn. Um, but when I talk about it in the interview, they a lot. You know what some of them have said? They were like, "Oh, I don't need to see that. Oh, I don't need to see that." They've literally said that, and I'm like, that's really impressive. Like, a lot of people don't know how to do that. Um, but they're like, "Let me see your resume." Uh, and then I don't know. I'm kind of like I don't know. But I mean, electro. Does your school or in India or the schools do they allow you to do a lot of your own work or no? Yes. Wait, electro. What's the most advanced? Have you done any engineering projects? Like, have you used it? Here's an Arduino. Have you used Arduino or any type of microcontroller? I can plug this in. Yes? Oh, Raspberry Pi Pico. Wait, the Pico is a microcontroller, right? Oh, you know what I found? Electro. Um, I was using a lot of. I don't know if I have one here to show. But I was using a lot of microcontrollers, right? Like ESP32. I think there's one called STM32. Um there's a lot of microcontrollers, right, that you can buy on Amazon. But what I found, if you use the Arduino IDE, sometimes it's really difficult to program the board. Like, you have to find the driver, right? Like the files. So I remember I was trying to finish my project and I couldn't get the board to code. And it was so frustrating. Like, I'm like, why won't this work? Um, so then I had an Arduino Uno at home. Arduino Uno. And Arduino is really widely supported. Like, you don't have to do anything. Like, you just plug in the Arduino and you select the board Arduino Uno, and then you can code it. Um, but I don't know. I ran into so many issues with the other microcontrollers. Like there were like so many steps to get it to right. Um, that's one of the things they talk about, right? Is the support. Like the Arduino has a lot of support. Um, so it's easy to use. But here's my clock. Um, I was gonna put the microcontroller inside of it, but look, it has a GPS module. You see at the bottom? That thing at the bottom is a GPS antenna. But look, it gets a time. Um, it gets a time over GPS. I was gonna make it compact with a battery. Yeah, but you know what's really cool about this? I wanted to make a clock, right? And I was thinking, oh, Wi-Fi, you need to be in a Wi-Fi network, right? You need to have access to the internet. So then I was thinking, oh, could I use a SIM card, like the phone tower, to get the time? But then you have to pay for the data, right? But then I learned if you get a GPS antenna, it's completely free. Um, and you can be anywhere in the world and get the data. So it's really cool. I was saying like if every clock in the world had a GPS module, you would never have to set the time. Um, you can also get a lot of other data from over the GPS. I think it even gives you like altitude. The altitude this is at. Um, you can do the speed like miles per hour. So there's some people they put GPS on their bicycle, and they can see how fast they're going. Um, yeah, it looks amazing. Wait, you know what though? Here's the screen or the displays. I have some of them, right? Look at how small they are. But these are really rare. Um, they don't make them anymore. So each one of these is like $50 a piece. Um, I don't know. What else did? Yeah. Yeah. They're called HP bubble displays. I think they're really cool, or they look cool. Um, you know what a do you know what a 7 segment display is? Like if you look on your microwave, it probably has 7 segment display. But look at how small these are. I don't know if it will focus, but they're considered the world's smallest. Um, they don't make them anymore. You want to know why they don't make them anymore? Because I think this was before. I don't think we had LCDs back then. Yeah. You know what an LCD is, right? Like the new calculators, they have LCD displays. So this was before we had LCDs. LCDs. Yeah. Electro, you've been here a while. Or I don't know. When yeah. Yeah, Electro, if you're here, do you have any ideas for what I should or any like ideas for videos? So someone asked about wireless charging, and I was thinking that could be a video like, oh, how to make a wireless charger. Um, well, wireless charging, I don't. I think I could do it. I don't know what I would charge though. Maybe not like a phone. Maybe I could do like a flashlight. I don't know. Yeah. Um. Oh, also, I'm not sure how often to upload. Um. People are saying it's better to do quality over quantity, right? Like if you spend time on a good video, and you do a good job, like that's good, right? But if you just try to upload on a schedule, like let's say you're like, oh, I'm just gonna upload every week, um, maybe your content and it won't be as good. Like since you tell yourself, oh, I have to upload something, um, whereas if you spend a lot of time making a good one, that does better. But then, like, how long do you spend on a video? on a video then? Like 2 weeks? You could spend a long time, like a month. You're still here? Wait, you have a channel? What? Wait, do you mean you spend 30 minutes making a video? You know, it doesn't take that long to make a video. Or like, for this clock, I wrote it down, right? Like I wrote down the idea and I was like, I ordered the parts, right? But then the day that I filmed the video, like in the morning, it only took me like 1 day to film and edit and get it posted. Two of them. Wait, do you show your face in them? No? You don't want to? I see. Wait, Electro, do you have any video ideas? Like, I did that clock because I'm interested in it, right? But, I don't know. Oh, I think my last video was I talked about journaling, right? You have one? Electro, do you know Dr. K? I watched a video from Dr. K, and he said if you make a journal, if you want to do something, right? If you want to do something and you write it down, like, I want to do this, you memorize it more, right? And ever since I made a journal, I think my life's changed a lot. I looked back at my journal. Sometimes I don't even remember writing the stuff down, but I was like, oh, I did that, I did that, I did that. Like, I did a lot. Like, I think all the stuff I wrote down, I did. Even if it was months later, I did it. So there's something about writing it down. Wait, you have one? What is it? Electro, am I pressure? Do you feel pressured to answer? I think you're my only viewer right now. Um, yeah. Did I have any other ideas? Oh, I did think of some other stuff. I thought, what if I take one of these number displays, right? They're small enough that I could like put it in a pen. Like I could put one inside of the pen here, and then I could have the pen say numbers. But I was thinking, what would I make the pen say? Like the time, or like maybe how many times you've clicked it. Like I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea. Oh, something else I was thinking of. Um, what if I put one of these in a keyboard? Like, if I had a mechanical keyboard, I could put it like underneath the key, right? If it was see-through, and like I could put the time on it. But I don't know how cool that would be. I could make a flashlight. Um, I've done water cooling. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how long I should be live. Yeah. I guess before I came on here, yeah, I wanted to talk about how I'm doing. Um, Electro, you think it's good if I just talk to myself or if I talk to the chat? I think that's all I had to talk about was yeah. Electro, I might go now. This is my first time streaming, so yeah. But thanks for coming. Okay. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Yeah. Stay tuned in my YouTube. I plan on uploading some more stuff. Yeah, I've been putting more effort into it. Okay. Bye.